ended in March. So in the Verizon, so I was working as a front end developer. So like what I worked in my project, I would like to say that like I was actually working as a like a front end engineer. So basically like working in the Verizon like in the J, as a J2E developer, eventually responsible for working the web user interfaces like in the development, and also like using JavaScript in the Angular, and working on Angular framework like, using Android, and also like using Angular directories for the application and also management, and working in the some of the application levels stuff like creating jQuery plugins, and like using browser compatibility using like HTML5, and like some class diagrams, creating those class diagrams and using like IBM Rational Rose for generating the UML notations inside the inside the projects, and also implementing the different design patterns like singleton design patterns, and factor method design patterns, like and having knowledge in architecture part of implementing the Spring Boot microservices to process the message into Kafka clusters, like, and also uh, involved in setting up the clusters, Kafka clusters, and interacting with the design team, and also like working in the web user interface developments, like JavaScript, jQuery, and also like secure data flow for the streams, which middleware Java applications for the code. And also I'm responsible for the code for developing the design patterns into application code for or like like responsible for architecture level stuff, and handling the Spring Boot microservices in the JDBC connections, and like in the backend for the processing, uh, and also like having Eclipse IDEs like IntelliJ in the hands-on experience with the frameworks for Angular. We used in the Verizon like 8.3 version, which is for developing the web application for the internal client. So the main like in that like we integrated the Tableau dashboard into the application. So that was the major one in the Verizon. So uh, because like in the Tableau, the team, the end client used to get the reports regularly. So we have to integrate that application into our front end. So my work is on the like a framework in the Ajax and Kafka setting up the, and also responsible for in my career, like responsible for writing the specific code in Angular framework, and writing to work on some Angular level services, and also like working on the integration in the Verizon projects. I told you, Tableau dashboards, right? So in that like deployment, and particularly working in the applications inside the internals, defining the target machines, and also working on the services which are handled by integration applications. So it's responsible for interacting with the backend API as well, like Angular for the Angular level services, and also handling that integration into the current projects. So kind of experience as of now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So mostly you are a front end or back end developer.
Mostly I'm like a full stack developer, but my last project was the front end. But I also developed back end, working in the updates like services for environment in the developing the REST APIs, and all stuffs in the back end as well. So
Okay.
yeah, have experience in both back end and front end. So the most of the front end project I was working in the in the front end only. So in the Verizon and the previous projects.
So, what is the architecture for the front end like? What is the technical stack? What is the framework that you used?
Coming to the software, or kind of so
Kind of.
yeah,
What is the framework that you used in the front end?
so coming to architecture, like we actually in the use the model view controller inside the Angular and to getting the backend web services and handling that on runtime services for the software services frameworks inside, which you use to use it for the application control apart from using for the architecture environment. We totally handle this a model view controller for Angular JS, and also like developing the source code to define the backend web services, which is taken from the apart from the work environment, which gives the confidence level for the uh, where the software services frameworks handle the proper way, and you the data which you send in the bank and dimensions of the applications control. So the proper way that we have to worry about the like handling the target machines in the application. So model view controller which defines the architecture and architecture level, and source codes to be controlled in the environment, reaching the data services for the clients in the DOM content. So we use the ing app module, which is dynamic for the dynamic view, and also creating the control view for the databases in logics and connections between the review and the model controller. So the for the definition for the displaying and updating the application context, which is to check the data into the items, uh, when we are added for the update from the view inside, conducting the models for the notifications. So specifically the code is dependent on the heading of the application services. On the model services in the architecture, so we are the application integration, which is the source code in our project. So the architecture environment which is gives the target for the giving the approvals for the notifications which we get from the security levels inside the application code. So model view controller architecture we use.
What is it? MVVM?
MB.
VM?
So MVVM is like a model view inside the it is like a separate development for the graphical user interface, which is having the markup language for the UI, that actually used for software design patterns, which these markup languages has a Angular architecture of a view model. So yeah, so view model, so that will what do you call like a user interactions with the ng models for the exposing the uh, data elements in a view model. So when we have the abstract data from the source, so the presentation level for the model of the abstracts, so it will define the data mining, and also gives the model gives the model view controller uh, boilerplate code so for the solutions. So it will be using abstract data really on the top of the comparison between the IBM tools, specifically it allows the view and model communicate directly, and so for this single page applications will work with these view models inside the applications.
Okay. What is JVM?
So JVM, it's JVM is a Java virtual machine. So it is something is for providing the runtime environment driver for the Java code applications to convert the Java bytecode into machine language. So the JVM is a part of Java runtime JRE. So and in other programmers, it becomes pilot which produce the machine code for the particular systems, and this is compiled by the Java code Java bytecode for specifications. Specifications we uses in JVM implementations inside the boilerplate code, and defines the Java development kit which is used for development systems. inside the specific code in the compilation. So yeah, when the Java bytecode which specify specific services which are created, uh, then this JVM will provide the runtime environment.
So what? So JVM maintains what type of memories?
Uh, so heap memory, also it's a permanent general space also, and swap and memory of physical RAM is allocated to it. Apart from that, I like to say JVM is it's a class files which you have the same in the class parent. So in the jar file, so the Java compiler and inside the JVM will make uh, like JVM memory for the management to we call management for the heap and refer to the non-heap memories when we created the startup class structures. So it is used for the runtime constant pool using the different method data. So and also in the code, like when you use methods and constructors for the internal streams. So inside that, it will swap and uh, uses the memory of physical RAM which is allocated to it. So it's like JVM is heap memory, and like also like it's a permanent general space uh, hardware kind of.
I know what is heap memory.
Heap memory. So heap heap memory is a memory which is better for the Java applications where the memory allocated for like a random access online for the stack memory, which random access. So like a stack memory is like allocated on every day like single data elements for the particles, which is having the asynchronous orders. So this heap memory is like a dynamic memory allocation, which stores the data into RAM, like computer's RAM. So and also the variables which are located inside the memory, which having access to the number specifiers. So it deals with the programming, compile, and runtime services.
Okay. When static variables are used.
Static variables. I would like to say that in the inside the class. So basically, mm, it's when you have the common instances in the class. So static variable is usually used inside the class. It is a like a class level variable in other words, like I can say. So I can say that in single copy of static variable is created in shared among all instances. So instance of the class. So uh, the memory management in some cases, which is having the uh, when we share the instance of the class. So uh, we want to have common value in all the instances like global variable. Then it is much better to declare the static to save the memory for the static variable for the integration processes.
Uh, when how do you set up OAuth security for the application?
So it's a whole application for
Yeah, OAuth security.
OAuth security. Okay. So yeah, uh, handling for the protocols you are asking for this setuping, or like how it works.
Yeah,
OAuth.
how it work both. Yeah.
So in the handling the implementation using OAuth security, when you have the server script between protocols, like adding the packages in the Maven, then inside that implementing the Spring security using this inside the resources, uh, like OAuth authorization server for the security configuration. Uh, inside the machine, auto wiring the plane inside the controllers in the Spring Boot. So we will use request mapping for the specific responsibility inside the application code, and also it defines the servers through like a lot of protocols adding in the packages to specify the HTTP status codes, and and also adding and for requesting the mapping using specific response entity in the set of locations where HTTP header the HTTP status inside the control switch controllers. So when we have to handle the request mapping through specific controllers, which having the tokens to create top of the code, and also specific services in the HTTP environment inside the each protocols, which will happen the giving the authorization for the whole web credentials inside that responsibility. So each entity exposes the quotations for the STTP, and having the specific rules for the integration inside the authorization in the applications. So which is having the HTTP service limited the applications inside the account for the resources, and and also we can use application registration inside the client ID or client security. So uh, we give the authorization for the passwords and client credentials on the top of that.
Okay.
Different like a single design pattern, abstract factory method pattern. So which is have the creating the applications design inside the uh, helping to various applications, which is having approaches for the software designs to use repeatable solutions for the commonly occurring in the sorted, which is designed which is designed for the code, and also reusable for the code. So we use design patterns, like we have singleton design patterns, abstract factory method design patterns. So like behavioral patterns, structural patterns. So once you create the beans, so in the control services in the application, it use the code for the behavior balancer for the structural design patterns, and defines the software development side with the application, which we do if you have the failure cases, and also responsible. So we use this application for the we use the design patterns in this application.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Chanaji. I'm done with the interview. Any questions?
I'm good. I would like to ask team size day to day. What is the responsibilities?
Yeah. There's a basically as a dev position, backend developer position.